We're in Tulsa, Oklahoma to talk to Teresa Hansen about some of the trends in the North American power and energy space. Teresa, what are some of the trends that are driving the transformation in North America?
Well, I think one of the biggest trends is just digitalization.
Yeah.
I mean, the digital technology that's now available to utilities allows them to be more efficient, more reliant, lets them offer their customers a lot of things they couldn't offer before. So that's one of the big trends. The other big trend that I think is really transforming the industry is the integration of renewable energy. As in many places in the world, in North America, not just customers, but utilities and their customers want cleaner, more sustainable energy. But to put that into the generation mix, it puts quite a strain on the grid. So again, they're looking at coming up with a lot of new technologies that allow them to do that, and that is one of the reasons for the development of a lot of the digital technologies, is to allow renewables to be integrated and keep the grid operating efficiently and reliably.
IoT advances are changing the game significantly, but there seems to be a slowness in adoption of some of this new technology by utilities. Why is that?
I think there are several reasons. One is just the rate of change in technology. I mean, a utility gets something, they start getting it installed, and by the time it's up and running, it may be obsolete. So there's some reluctance there to invest a lot of money in something that they're not sure how long that's going to last, or if something is going to come around and replace it very quickly.
Is there a generational gap there too?
I think there is a generational gap. I mean, you have a lot of people in utilities who have been there for a very long time, and they understand how the grid works. They're very, I guess maybe protective is a good word to say. I mean, they are very reluctant to just let technology take over all the things that humans once did. And of course, there will always be a human interface, but some of the new technology, the machine-to-machine learning, artificial intelligence, that sort of thing, it's a big step for those people who have actually operated the grid and kind of had control of it for decades.
There's a regulation gap too, because utilities are now also in the driving seat, where municipalities are now taking a backseat.
Yeah, utilities, again, with all the new technology, there are many, many things that utilities can offer their customers now. Or maybe a municipality wants to offer that, or maybe some other third party wants to offer utility customers some new convenient technology. But utilities are in the driver's seat if they really take advantage of it, because they already have the relationship with the customer. They already have the meter there with the customer. So they already have that connection. But what they have to do is they kind of have to step out of that comfort zone of just being the provider of electricity and start looking at themselves as providers of convenience and providers of new technologies that people want and want to pay for.
In a space that's changing so fast, what do you see as the big changes that need to happen in the next year or two or three?
Well, like I mentioned, I think machine-to-machine learning is going to be a big thing, where machines are actually communicating and making those decisions without human interface. I think that's going to be a big part of it, and I think it has to happen in order for the amount of renewables that many states in the U.S. want to provide or offer their customers. So I think that's a big one. I think artificial intelligence, which kind of fits in that same realm, is another big thing we're going to see. I think things like drones, using drones not just to inspect lines, but to go out during repair when there's been a storm or something like that. To use those to really get a really good view of what's going on, to let humans know before they ever go out to the field what they need to take with them, that sort of thing. So I think that we're going to see a lot of things like that will enable utilities to operate more reliably, and when their grid does go down, to be able to get that service back up to their customers much more reliably or sooner.
You mentioned renewable energies, and reports recently show that that's what customers really want to see utilities start integrating more.
Yes, I think that, why would people want dirty electricity if they can have clean electricity? And I think now that it's becoming much more mainstream that, yes, customers, they want that clean electricity, and they expect their utilities to give it to them. Customers have gotten very used to all kinds of industries offering things that are convenient and that they really want. I mean, you look at Amazon and companies like that, all the things they do for their customers. Well, customers want that same type of service from their utilities, and one of the big things that they want is clean, reliable, affordable electricity.
So these are obviously all themes that will be discussed at DistribuTech in February?
That's correct. We have several new tracks. We have one that we call it the 3 R's, but it's reliability, response, and resiliency. And that's going to cover a lot of things that I just talked about, using technology such as drones to reliably operate the grid, to get the grid back up when they do have to respond after a storm or some other type of event. It'll also cover a lot of cybersecurity, which is another big area for Distributech, so we'll certainly include that. Renewable energy is spread throughout Distributech because, again, it's kind of the big disruptor of the grid. And so one of the big themes is, how do we provide our customers with the clean, renewable, sustainable energy that they want and still keep the grid operating. So those are some of the things that we will cover. It's going to be a great program, and we're really looking forward to it.
And of course, we'll cover all of this at Distributech in February.
That's correct. We'll be in New Orleans, February 3rd through the 5th, and the entire program is available on our website. You can go to distributech.com to see all of the topics that we're covering, and I hope to see you there.
Of course, Smart Energy International will be there too and distributed at the show. Teresa, thanks for your time.
Sure. Thank you, Ross.
Cheers.